Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of TC Talk, back today with another video, and I'm super excited to be back today giving you a recap of the Flesh and Blood World Championship, at least up until top 8. Kind of talk about some of the resources you can check out and to read more about the event, and just kind of give our general thoughts as we're going in tomorrow's top 8. So if you like this type of content, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoy your stay. If you're a long-standing supporter, thank you so much as always. Feel free to check out the Patreon and the Discord down below. So I've been away for a few days. I've been watching the event, but I was at home visiting family. I'm normally in Texas, and I was at home in Virginia. Didn't really have much of a setup to make videos like I would want to, at least. I didn't want to just make a hosh-posh weird video. So we're back today, and I'm going to be making a couple different videos over the next week. A lot of videos, actually, on the new hero with Kasai, on some of the new cards that were released, my thoughts on like upcoming meta, all types of stuff. So we're going to have a ton of videos. Super excited, and we have a special video on the channel next week regarding what may or may not be a spoiler. So be on the lookout for that. Well, more information will come. But here's the World Championship live blog. Before we get into how the meta has gone in the last 2 days, I just want to point out these blogs. A multitude of people run them. I mean, if I scroll all the way to the bottom, hold on one second here. Computer doesn't want to work with me. I'm not sure who writes these. It might be a compilation of a bunch of different people, but they make, I mean, this is the World Championship blog. I'm still going up, and I'm gonna keep going up for a second, right? They do so much great coverage. Definitely check out these blogs. I'll leave it in the description down below. It goes through like what the day one meta looked like, all that stuff, and we have an Excel spreadsheet here that kind of shows that, and I'll go to that here in a second. But just check out this blog. They also do like by round result pairings and standings, social media, live stream, all that stuff. So this sheet was made by a person called Data Dude in the Discord. I couldn't find their Twitter because I wanted to shout them out, but definitely look them up in the Discord. Just insane amount of data, more so than I could give. So I wanted to shout them out and let them be able to show it. But they basically gave the player rankings, what the player is on, what they're playing, how their CC rounds went 1 through 4, how many they won, how their draft went, how their second draft went, so on and so forth. Total wins, how many total wins in CC did they have, how many total wins in draft did they have, right? So insanely detailed. They have the day 1 and day 2 meta share like you normally see on the channel. They also have breakdown of hero by the end of day 1. How many heroes were 7-0, 6-1, 5-2, and then also what percentage of that hero population went 4-0 in CC on day 1. Now we can see like what hero of the hero population went 3-0 in draft, of that who went 6-0, who did really well in draft, so on and so forth. They also have detailed player round by round, so we can see that like Yuki, who plays Iyslander, played an Azalea, a Dash, a Jeremiah, and another Jeremiah her first couple CC rounds, and then if you go forward, her last couple rounds she played another Dash, a Rhinar, lost to an Iyslander finally. That was her only loss. Stuff like that. So go through this. I won't go through every little thing because it is a ton of information, but definitely check it out. As we can see here, and we'll talk about here in a second, we'll talk about top 8, but let's look at the day 1 and day 2 meta first. So in day 1, right, Iyslander, top right here, 79 total. Day 1, 17% of the meta representation. This was the biggest surprise to me. I thought that the top 3 were going to be Jeremiah 1, pretty obvious. I thought Bravo would be number 2, and I thought Dash and Iyslander would be kind of tied for 3. Like, I thought Iyslander was going to be where Dash is, around 50 or so, or however many, right? Around 10% of the meta to 12% of the meta share. I did not expect Iyslander to be number 1. It's very interesting because Iyslander typically does really well in a Bravo, but Jeremiah hasn't been that well as of late, I think is what I've been reading. So I was surprised. I knew there'd be a lot. People knew there'd be a lot of ninja representation. So Iyslander might have been a stronger pick because of that. But it's just really interesting on how much she came back into the meta post Lexi. So that was really surprising for me. Jeremiah being where she's at, no surprise there. 17% of the meta. Bravo, no surprise here. And Dash, no surprise. Azalea for me was interesting. I said I had a couple predictions prior to this, and one of my predictions was that Azalea was kind of a trap pick. I really don't. Now, the numbers kind of disagreed with me, which is totally fine. Totally okay to admit when I'm wrong. But for me, I didn't think Azalea was going to convert well. I thought that she has a weird matchup in Icelander. If your name's not Levi Rauch, normally it's like a 50-50. Dromai is not favored at all, and Bravo is not favored at all. So I was a little bit skeptical of her. But she had a lot of representation at 9%. Phi had 10%, and Katsu had 4%. This was my second surprise. I thought Katsu and Phi be around even. I know Phi is better into Dromai. No arguments there. But I thought that Katsu's power ceiling is a little bit higher, and because of that, I didn't know how much representation he would have, but I thought it would just be barely below Phi. Like if Phi's at 45, I thought we'd see 30 Katsu, right? I didn't think it'd be literally double the amount of Phi that we saw from Katsu. And go down. Reinhardt didn't quite have as much representation as I thought he would have. I thought he'd be a little bit higher at like 5%, around 20 or so, but it is what it is. And then going down, nothing else is too crazy. Did have one Tekla Austin who ended up starting 3-1 in Classic Constructed, which is crazy. But that was day one. Day two, 40 out of 79 of the Icelander made day two, right? So 17% of the total day two meta, 50% conversion rate. That's insanely high. A lot of these heroes had really high conversion rate. Azalea had a 59% conversion rate. It's really notable. Bravo actually had a 52% conversion rate, and we'll talk about what Bravo didn't do when it came to the second day. It's really hard to sometimes judge these, and that's why these are really cool to see of like how good they actually did in CC, because Bravo converted really well to day two, but as you can see over here in the top 8, Bravo did not convert well to the top 8. At the end of the day, in the top 24 players, only 2 Bravos were in the top 24. So even though Bravo made up 14% of the day two meta, they really struggled. Maybe it was draft, maybe it was a little bit of CC, who knows, into the second day. We have Dash at 50% conversion. Katsu at a 47% conversion rate, slightly better than Phi, which is interesting, but they're about the same for the most part. So on and so forth. Out of the 8 Boltons, 6 of them made day two, which is really cool to see. And then Uziri, out of the 5 Uziri, 3 of them made day two at 60%. So that's kind of where you're at with that. For day one specifically, I like going down here. These are all the heroes of how many heroes went undefeated in Classic Constructed for day one. So we had 4 Classic Constructed rounds, then 3 draft rounds for day one. Out of the 6 Levias, 2 of them went undefeated. We had 8 Icelanders go undefeated out of the 79. That's 10% of Icelanders going undefeated, which is pretty nuts. Another notable one, 2 Katsu went undefeated, 4 Phi went undefeated. So pretty good numbers here. Overall, none of the Bravos went undefeated in CC. And as you can look here, I think it is, as far as undefeated's total record, Icelander had 2 undefeateds, 1 Phi, 1 Katsu, going into day one. So day two, I'm pretty sure this is 1. So this shows like the matchup percentage, which is really cool for day two. And the reason this is important is because I wanted to show Icelander. So Icelander had actually a pretty bad day two matchup percentage against Azalea. But if we look at I wanted to look at Azalea's matchup percentages. So in day one, which is kind of like the one before the cut, she was actually had a favorable matchup in the Bravo, how many times she played it, so on and so forth. So that's really cool to see. But going back to this, here's the top 8. So I'll show it here, and then I'll show it in the graphic. So we had these 8 right here. We had 2 Phi, a Katsu, 2 Dash, 2 Icelander, and Dromai. I don't remember exactly what I said for top 8. I know I said 2 Dromai, so I'm 1 off of that. I said 2 Bravo. I thought Bravo actually would do really well, but Bravo did not. I said a Dash. I had a Dash in there. I had a Ninja in there, and I had a Rhinar as my spicy pick. So Rhinar was on the cusp of top 8. Pedro right here was either in top 8 or right outside top 8 the last 5 rounds. I think they had a key loss at the end, but ended up placing 14th. Other notables, we had a Bravo just outside top 8 with Breakers at 10th. And a Dorinthia just outside top 8. So we were 1 win away or some breakers away from having like 7 to 8 heroes, right? Like if you take one of these Phis out and you put in Dorinthia or Bravo, we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different heroes in the top 8. But alas, we had 5. Other kind of notables, if you go down, the highest ranking Dash IO at 16th, and then there was also a Max at 17th. So we had a Dash and a Max both placed in top 20, which is really cool to see. And then, as you can see, the highest ranking Azalea was 28 at Jose Lau. So nothing too crazy there. As we're going down, nothing else. A lot of the Bravos ended up right around here, like in the top 50, which is still very, very good placing, but they just couldn't convert at the very end. But here is the bracket. We have Yuki Lee Bender. Yuki, I haven't brought up until this point in the video, and I feel bad for that. Yuki went on a tear, right? If we go to the player details, she starts out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5-0. Or is this Yuki? Okay, this is here 11. She started out more than 5-0. I'm somewhere weird on this. She started out it was like 10-0 or something like that. Yeah, she didn't lose until what? Round 11. So yeah, she started out 10-0 on the day, and then ended up just going through an insane tear, right? And then after that loss, I think that was her only loss. So yeah, I think she ended the day at 13-1, so which is congratulations to her. Absolutely insane run. Easton was at 12, but yeah, Yuki was the only 13. Almost had a perfect Swiss round. Ended up losing 1 CC round, which is pretty nutty. Then we have Phi at the 8 seed playing against Yuki. This is an interesting matchup. We'll have to see how it goes. Yuki should be favored. So I think Yuki will win this one. This is the cool one. Jeremiah and Matthew W. Matthew, I forgot how to say his last name. He's a really good player. He's from TC's team and all that. He's I think Dash is his original hero that he loves playing the most. So he's very practiced on it. So I want to see this matchup because I think Jeremiah is favored, but I also think that Matthew's skill level on that deck is pretty high, and I want to see how that matchup fares. This is kind of the 50-50 one. I'm not sure how to call this one. If you want to call it just based off percentages, you would say Jeremiah, right? Easton and Daniel, really, really cool matchup here. Another Dash and Phi, and then finally Icelander Katsu. I'm hoping Katsu pulls it out. Icelander, I think, is favored, but this is kind of crazy. Team 3-pitch, I think there is. 3-pitch or Blue Pitch? Team Blue Pitch, sorry. Team Blue Pitch, these are teammates. So really interesting here. These two have probably played each other 100 times, right, or more, and so it's going to be really fun to watch that matchup. I think Katsu has a better chance against Icelander than Phi does, but I probably, just using common sense, would say Icelander's favored in that matchup. So I'm going to say Icelander here. I'm actually probably going to say, I don't know if this is Tree Frog Dash. I think it is. If I'm just going to say Dash just for the fun of it. I think Icelander and Dash get through here. I think I'm going to go with my gut here and also say Dash. I think Matthew pulls this one out, and I think Yuki pulls out. So I think our top 4 is Icelander, Dash, Icelander. So Icelander and just Dash, which would be pretty nutty. I do think an Icelander is going to take it. I'm really believing in Yuki here. I'm believing in the storyline of someone going 13-1 in Swiss and end up taking it. I'm rooting for Yuki, and my second rooting is for the Katsu. But regardless, I just want to see great games. It comes on at 3 a.m. my time, or 2 a.m. my time. Yeah, 2 a.m. my time, which is insane. I'm going to be staying up for it, though, to watch it. The description, if you haven't watched any of the matches, go down below. You can watch the VODs as well as watch the live tonight. But yeah, really, really cool. Check this out. Check out this insane spreadsheet. Really, really cool information. And then I'll also link the championship blog down below. But let me know what your thoughts are on this event. It's been really fun to watch. This meta's wide open. It really is. I mean, I think Icelander definitely has showed out and showed strong, but overall, we've seen so many cool heroes do really well. I mean, if you just look in the top 24, I mean, we have Bravo, Dromite, Dash, Dorinthia, Katsu, Max, Dash IO, Icelander, Reinar. We have 9-10 heroes in the top 24, right? Which is just a really, really cool thing to see. Really happy about that. So definitely check it out. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. I'll be doing other stuff on the hero reveals and all that every day. You'll be getting a video every day this week. And into next week, like I said, we'll be doing a spoiler reveal on the 24th. And I'll be giving little teasers and more information to that here in the coming days. But thank y'all so much. If you like this type of content, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe. If not me, it's totally fine. Go to our Flesh and Blood creator, leave a like, comment, subscribe on their stuff so we can get more people seeing this game. And I'll see y'all next time on TC Talk. Thank y'all so much.